Welcome to the Real Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by
the Resilience DoctHers,
Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL Resilient Framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
The Resilience DoctHers.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
the Resilience DoctHers
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with
the Resilience
describe them as an
DoctHers.
excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
Great morning, everyone. It is Super Saturday. Welcome to episode 234 of the Real Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Resilience DoctHers. I'm Dr. Sheikah Houston.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm Dr. Tammy Taylor. We are excited to continue season 5 as we move from foundations into systems alignment.
Absolutely. And if you are a Real Fam member, we would like for you to put in the comments what kept you or is keeping you resilient in the work for the week. So what kept you resilient in the work for the week? And if you are a newcomer, you may be wondering, well, who are the Resilience DoctHers and how do I become a Real Fam member?
And we are so glad that you asked. We are best-selling authors, children book authors, award-winning educators, and speakers who transformed our schools through report card movement, raising student achievement 2 and 3 levels in just a single year.
Absolutely. And as senior staff developers for Create and Educate, we know that school transformation is needed in many areas. So if you need to get off the list, we are here to help. Our framework and our MTSS manual can help you formulate the systems that will help you experience success that your school may need. And we are already booking leadership retreats for the fall and also PD for the fall. So reach out to us if this is something that you're in need of. If you're looking for a children's book author's visit, remember Amir's Awakening is still selling and bulk orders are being made. People are still purchasing. So if you would like for us to come out and talk to your students about that book, a lot of people have given us great feedback on it. And if you need something new to reinvigorate your climate and your culture that aligns with your school mascot or your PBIS system that doesn't look like something new to everybody, our new Synergy Lab is providing that lasting change across every aspect of the school. So reach out and get more information.
Yes, please do. And if you can't bring us in just yet, keep tuning in to us here on the Real Academy, where we've impacted over 300,000 educators and nearly 7 million students through our free Fantastic Four PD each and every Super Saturday. That Super Saturday kicks off at 10 a.m. with our big brother in the work, Sean Hurt, who is on fire every Saturday as he was this morning. And then we follow Sheikah and I here in the Real Academy at Create and Educate. And then at 11 a.m., the Leaders Mentor and the GOAT in the AP and New Principals Academy with Principal Kafele. And then on Sunday evenings, we round this out with the PGP podcast with Dr. Marty Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar.
Absolutely. So please like, share, subscribe, send the stars, do all of the things that the platforms do, and that will help us to build these algorithms. So if you are one of our Real Fam members, you know that it is real shout out time. And Tammy's going to finish the comments while I shout everybody
Yes.
out. So shout out to AP Patrick Lawrence from Connecticut. Thank you for joining us. Our brother in the work, Principal Josh Tovar, thank you for joining us. Mr. David Bell from Benton Harbor, Michigan, thank you for joining us. Our brother in the work as well, Principal Sean Hurt, was on fire this morning. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Rella Hicks, good morning. Thank you for joining us and happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Coach Dot McKeever Jeter and the promoter of all the platforms. We always appreciate you and everything that you do. Thank you for being here and joining us. Chancellor Rashard Davis from Las Vegas, thank you for joining us. Principal Kenyelle Sessions from Oklahoma, thank you for joining us. Dr. Edwin Garcia, thank you for joining us. Dr. Joe Griffin, who also does this work, thank you for joining us. Vincent Taylor, we appreciate you being here. Good morning. He's also an author. Thank you for joining us and an educator. Beautiful Stacy L. Joy, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining us. And September Devance Vance Daniels, thank you for joining us. The GOAT is here, Principal Kafele. Thank you for joining us. And we are looking forward to your session today with Dr. Akua and the other gentleman that you're going to have on talking about the academics and social and emotional learning for the Black child. I know that's going to be good. Thank you for joining us, Miss Alicia Scott on YouTube. It is harder to read the YouTube names. Thank you for joining us. LaKenya Rowland, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And Queen Jasmine Harris, thank you for joining us. She's also a principal. Dr. Patricia Ray, thank you for joining us. She's doing great work at MTSS. Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu, we appreciate you and thank you all for joining us. You could be doing a lot of things, but you are intentional about being here with us, and we do not take that lightly. Be sure to check out our radio show in partnership with WGCD Radio. That's our parents, our first teachers. It airs on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and it's only 15 minutes, but we've gotten a great response from the community about it. So if you have time to check it out, please do. So we've just completed our Tier 1 foundations, respect, excellence, accountability, literacy, and leadership. And now we ask the question, What happens when you align MTSS to those foundations? Because too often, as educators, sometimes, we suck the life out of things. We monotonize it. We ruin it for people sometimes. Sometimes, too often, MTSS becomes paperwork, meetings, compliance instead of clarity.
Yes, and we want to make sure that we make it clear that MTSS was never designed to be just another initiative. It is designed to be a framework for organizing support. But when MTSS is layered on top of unclear systems, it absolutely becomes overwhelming because it seems like, oh, this is so much more that we have to do.
Absolutely, Tammy. And when MTSS is aligned to our real framework, it actually could become very simplified. So, respect strengthens your tier one climate. That's a lot of what we focus on. That's why it's the door, because if you have a poor climate, everything that you put on top of that, it's not going to last. I think I said in a meeting the other day. We can keep putting bows on pigs if we want to. The pig is still going to not be cute and it's still going to stink. So you got to have those strong foundations. Excellence strengthens your tier one instruction. Accountability strengthens your tier one follow through, and then literacy strengthens that access that everybody deserves and should have. Leadership sustains the system because you teach everyone in the building, even the children, that we are all leaders of our processes. So if
Child.
So if tier one is weak, then tier two and tier three will collapse. As I just said, that weak foundation will not sustain anything. So we have to ask ourselves some questions for tier one. What do all of our students receive? Sometimes when you just go through and do an audit of what you're doing, you figure out why things may not be working, or you figure out what's working and you keep doing more of that. What do all of our teachers implement? What are those things that are consistent across every classroom? We're not saying every classroom needs to look the same, but there should be some consistencies. And then what is consistently monitored? So those are the things that really help to keep that tier one strong.
Yes, and when you have strong tier one instruction, it reduces referrals, it reduces remediation, and it reduces the burnout that is caused by having weak processes in those places. Weak tier one absolutely multiplies those intervention lists. That's when we start to see that we have that inverted triangle that we've talked about before. You've got more kids who are in the tiers 2 and 3 than you have who should be benefiting from receiving strong tier one instruction. That should not be the case. So, what we want to make sure we mention and make sure you get this morning is, because MTSS includes all four domains: academics, behavior, attendance, SEL, you have to be able to put into perspective how to align all of those domains to make a strong tier one classroom.
Absolutely, Tammy. So, through the real lens, academics should equal excellence and literacy. That behavior part, when we're looking at those multi tiered systems of support, we're looking at the whole child, everything that could inhibit the education. So, we look at behavior. That includes, from our framework, respect and accountability. When we're looking at attendance, we're on the framework talking about respect and leadership. And when we're looking at that social and emotional learning piece that also includes whether or not the child has experienced some trauma, then we're looking at respect, literacy, and leadership because all of those things could be impacted. So when aligned, the work becomes coherent instead of fragmented. So now we're going to apply our systems formula that you've seen before. We use that to define our systems and the systems work because it makes it easier for people to duplicate it. So it's the what times the messaging plus the effective process equals success over refinement. So when we're looking at your tier one model, what messages build trust? So you have to have messages that build trust. So if you're just doing things and you're starting them, but you have no messaging, you have no rationale, you have no reasoning behind why you're doing something, you're not showing anybody any data. People are just, oh, here they go again, because that's how the people talk. Here they go again, they think they know all of this stuff. You have to give the messaging that goes along with it. Then we got to clarify the process for the people. Who is doing what, when, and how? So that is what brings your clarity. Your success is your measurement. That's what you're looking to measure. So that's what your accountability piece. And then your refinement, of course, is how you continue to improve.
Shika, I'm so glad that you shared that formula this morning, and you're talking about how the refinement is one of the key aspects of that formula, because it talks about for the leader, what is it that we want to continue to improve upon? And you know what? When MTSS fails, guess when it fails? Refinement is missing. That's not there. You're not looking for that continuous improvement cycle. And so you're reactionary. But resilient schools are constantly refining.
Absolutely, Tammy. Um, and resilient schools don't ask, who do we fix? That's one of the biggest problems in education. Everybody thinks that if it's students, oh, they're not learning, we got to fix the students, or the teachers are not doing what they're supposed. How we fix the teachers? You really have to look at the behaviors as communication. When children aren't doing something, it's usually something going on, something they don't know how to do, something we need to intervene on, some type of social and emotional learning or trauma we need to respond to. And the same thing with teachers. What professional development do we need to provide? What coaching is needed? We have to start asking the right questions, and it is not who do we fix, it's what systems do we need to strengthen.
Yes, or what systems do we need? Because if we don't have
Exactly.
them, we can't strengthen them. And what we know for ourselves, based on the work that we've done, is that when MTSS is aligned to the REAL framework, students feel supported because that's that respect aspect of things. Teachers have clarity because everybody's accountable. It has been made very, very clear. All of those systems of excellence are in place. Teachers have that clarity about what you want from them, and then they know what's going to happen when those systems aren't followed through on. Leaders feel focused, and you know why? That's because you can hone in and zone straight into what you are focusing your leadership on. Data feels useful, culture feels stable, because that is how the real framework has been designed.
Absolutely, Tammy. And, when we're talking about having the right systems in place, when we've talked earlier about MTSS being heavy, and a lot of people have created this tsunami of things for people to do, you have to be realistic. As the person who was the coordinator for secondary, when I saw that elementary, who has a lot of times a smaller grouping of children that they're responsible for than secondary people who may have a team of 90 to 120, 150 children, the packet of paperwork that was being required for each child could not be required for all of the children, that a teacher is responsible for at the middle school. So, as a leader, you have to be able to advocate for your people in your building, your teachers. You have to be realistic about what people can and cannot do. And sometimes, you have to be that advocate for your building and your people, because we could say we were going to do that, but it would have been haphazard. It would not have been done well. It would have just been going through the motions, because it would have been very unrealistic for people to have to do all of that.
And that's a part, I think, of making sure that you are in tune with your own context. Like you have to know your reality.
Hmm.
And for administrators, for us, I think sometimes what we also have to do is we have to take a step back. No matter what the overarching systems are, we have to take a step back to see, how is this going to look in my building? How
Hmm.
am I going to create systems that allow for this work to be done without overwhelming the teachers? Because
Hmm.
what you don't want to do is you don't want to get teachers to the point where they are resisting what it is you're trying to do when it comes to MTSS, because this is about children. And
Right.
so you want to present this in a way that we're all working toward the same goal. And the only way that can happen is that teachers feel like they're supported, teachers know what the expectations are. And then, as I said, you've created systems that really are aligned for that work to really happen. You can't just go in, as you said, Shika, acting as if this is a doable thing, when really we already know going in there is absolutely no way that you can get all this done in a day. So we have to be real with the teachers about what this work has to look like in order for our kids to benefit. And what we want to make sure, again, we leave with you as we talk about the systems of MTSS, is that you remember that when MTSS is aligned to respect, to excellence, to accountability, to literacy and leadership, which is our real framework, schools move from reactionary trauma centers, because that's what it feels like. As Shika said before, you feel like you're heavy and you're lost in the fog of things. They move from that though to being centers of prevention and resilience, where children are able to get what they need and teachers feel supported, allowing that to happen.
Absolutely. And before we start talking about what's missing with the child or what interventions are needed, make sure we're also looking at that prevention part. What have we put into children? What have we told them about school being important or why they need it? What have we told them about being respectful? All of these things are things that we have to teach. A lot of people have, with these report card obsessions, have just gotten to you, education is becoming very transactional. I got my standard, I got my lesson plan, I'm going to teach. Here we go. Get here to test. Let's look at the data. It's more to it than that for children. So if you are not putting anything into your children daily, and I'm talking about that they telling them that they're great, telling them what you expect, telling them what the vision is, teaching them about how to show up excellent, teaching them what your expectations are, why it's important to do these things. The other things will not naturally flow for you. So make sure on the front end that we are actually putting something into our children. So
Absolutely.
absolutely. So MTSS should not feel heavy. It should feel like a solution.
Yes, it should. And what we want again is for you to remember that no matter where you are in your process, make sure that the systems in your building are aligned so that the People who benefit from the systems that you've put in place are your children and your teachers.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us for episode 234 of the Real Academy.
Yes, next week we'll go deeper into how leaders can monitor MTSS without overwhelming the team. And we want you to know that we are your resilience doctors, helping you create and educate so you can thrive.
Absolutely. So please join Principal Kafele next. He has on some heavy hitters. Dr. DeLacy Davis, Dr. Chika Akua, Coach Alfred Powell. They're going to be discussing meeting the academic and social and emotional needs of a Black child, which really pairs
Fire.
well with what we've been talking about today. So make sure you tune back in on don't forget about Josh and Dr. Marty Moreno on Sunday. And
Right.
then right back here on Super Saturday, starting off with Principal Sean Hurd at 10 a.m., yours truly Create and Educate at 10:30, and the Leaders Mentor and the GOAT at 11. Thank you all. Have a real amazing Super Saturday.
Yes, and happy Valentine's Day again, everybody.
Yes, thank you.